What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. It is episode number 45, returns today on the back of our win over Manchester United. It's the penultimate episode of Season 5 as we try and pull off a miracle and keep ourselves in the title race, and we'll have both legs of our Europa League semi-final, home and away against the Italian side, Torino, who of course we faced in the league phase and beat as well. So fingers crossed we'll make our first European final of the season. You never know, I mean maybe possibly leapfrog Arsenal or cut the gap on them. I guess we'll see. 5 to go on the back of our win over Manchester United. It's a 4-point gap. Of course, our loss to them in the last episode of Portman Road was a disaster. Before we play the first game, that is Torino in the first leg of the Europa League semi. Arsenal are away against Brentford at the G-Tech, where we're off that weekend. So what we're going to do is quickly simulate through. I believe they're playing on the 21st, but it might be the 22nd. So goes to the 23rd anyway, just to be safe rather than sorry. And we'll see if Brentford did us a massive favour or if the gap remains at 4 points. Fingers crossed. So Brentford took a point off. Brentford took 2 points off even, sorry. A draw there at the G-Tech, 1-1, and it means the gap is 5. 5 to go. It's not over yet, you know, it's not over yet. I think we need to win all 5, and Arsenal is still going to need to slip up 2 times in their final 4, but it's not over yet. Right, let's jump into it then. First game of today's episode, as the league and European double is still possible, but definitely for sure this is the most winnable of the two. Europa League semis against Torino. I've said it since the very beginning. We are definitely one of the favourites to go all the way, and I'm accepting nothing less than a final place. So we're going to get there, got to overcome the Italian side right now, sat in mid-table in the Serie A. Feeling confident, we beat them in the league phase. I think we can beat them in the semis as well. Let's make sure we get through with, first of all, a solid first result to take back to Turin. Come on, Ipswich Town. Yeah, I always worry about sounding arrogant when I'm like, oh yeah, we've got to be favourites here, because it's football. You know, it's wild, it's unpredictable, as we know. But the truth is, with the way we've developed as a team over the course of, I think, the past 2 years, we have taken, giant strides forward. You know, we were always developing, but now we've taken giant strides forward. I think now, as Washington hits the bar early, teams look at us and they fear us. You know, we're no longer little Ipswich Town anymore. You know, we are now becoming a big, not just side in England, but in Europe as well. It's the thing you need to remember the most when you're doing an RTG. It's like, you're not the same team that you started with. You know, it can be easy to forget that sometimes. Like, it's something like, I have said it a few times before, as Mudryk beats Renan Lodi down the right hand side, thinks it into the middle, headed away. But yeah, like, your expectations need to move with your team. Like, the better you become. Go on, Washington. Yes, come on. 22 in and the perfect start. Like, when you start to develop, when you start to get better, and this isn't just the case for, you know, career mode and sport, but also live sport. When you start to get better, when you start to develop, when you start to improve, your aspirations need to improve as well. We're no longer little Ipswich Town. We are now a side that's gaining good stature, both domestically. Oh, what a finish, Jared Bowen, and in Europe as well. Instant response, 1-1. It's a poor pass, really poor pass. Tapping, there we go, a little cut back across. That's a terrible pass. That I'm noticing this a bit more since the recent patch, and I don't know if there has been some gameplay tweaks, but it does feel as though the AI is starting to give the ball away a little bit more. What's Cody O'Shea being booked for? Oh, that's for. But I'm noticing the AI, they do give the ball away a little bit more frequently than when passing out from the back. I guess at times that is going to happen when you're playing a high press, but even so. Anyway, David at the double, 2-1. And this is why Georgie, despite coming back from injury, is still sat on the bench. Washington going into a nice little run right now. We've got Southampton on Sunday, so I'd like to take off a couple of my starters for that. But I also really want a cushion to... Oh, Mudryk, just go it away, son. Go it away. Oh, as he belts it just over. I'd like a cushion to take back to Italy. 2 goal, possibly even 3 if I really push for it. Because you never know in those away European ties, second leg. Oftentimes collapses can happen, as we've seen many times. Wharton through to Adley. It's literally all Ipswich here. And that third goal is coming. And there it is. Adley, just keep your finger on the button, man. When you are in control, just keep on keeping that team on the ropes. Don't let them out. And me with the third 2-goal cushion. Yep, never wanted to come across as arrogant. That's not my style. But for sure, I felt very confident pre-game. And the gameplay proved that faith was not misplaced. A comfortable 3-1 victory. Jared Bowen might have found a leveler, but I never really felt we weren't going to take a first leg win back to Turin. 3-1, and we keep a clean sheet in Italy, and we're through. And as Braga take a 1-goal lead over Union Berlin, heading into the second leg in Germany there, it might well be another side we faced in the league phase. FC Braga, who of course we had on match day 1. So before we played the game against Southampton, by the way, on the Saturday, Arsenal play again. I think they got West Ham. They do indeed. West Ham at home. So 5-point gap before Sunday, where we'll have 2 games in hand. And that means, let's say hypothetically, West Ham beat Arsenal. We win back-to-back. We'll go top. Big ask, of course. But we shall see if the Irons did us a massive favour. You won't often catch me cheering for West Ham, but today you will. And no, Arsenal with the win. 2-0. I didn't expect much, but even so, 8-point gap. We've got the 2 games in hand. We can cut it to 2, but we're still going to need Arsenal to slip up at least once in their final 3, and we'll need to win 5 straight, including it. It's going to be a miracle for us to win the Premier League Championship, but we'll fight until the very end and do our absolute best. Following game, Southampton away at St Mary's, as we at least just try and keep the pressure on. It's all you can do, man. All you can do. Just try and keep the pressure on. Go on, Ipswich Town. Keeping tabs on Southampton all season long. They've had a really poor campaign. They've already been relegated. But they have now just avoided that infamous Derby County points record total. And I think I've mentioned before, like, in terms of records that may stand test of time, I think Chelsea's defensive record, I can't see anyone having a better defensive record than that. Only 15 goals conceded in 38 games. But also Derby County's points record, if we don't count any kind of like possible points deductions for teams, I do wonder if anyone ever finished with a lower tally than that. I think the only way that could get beaten, I think, is if, again, there's a team that has a points deduction, if you will. But naturally, if no deductions for a 38-game season, I don't know if anyone's going to finish with a lower total than Derby did back in 2008. Anyway, Georgie, great dribbling and good save, but Adley turns in the rebound. Ipswich in front, and it's double A with the opener. God, I feel sorry for Amin Adley, honestly. This is only his 14th league game of the season. I mean, he's been injury played all year long. He started off red hot with 8 goals in his first 12 games, and then bang, big midterm injury, misses a chunk of the season. And then I think it was his comeback game. He gets injured again. And if it wasn't his comeback game, it was the game afterwards. I mean, when he's fit, he's unplayable. But this season, just hasn't been able to stay away from the knocks, putting him in the treatment room. As Georgie almost got... Oh, poor pass. And oh, Adley, what a sitter. Well, speak of the devil, what a sitter. Well, not the best of games, really, but we will take it. Ipswich with the 1-0 in what was probably our easiest game of the final 5 with the Saints rock bottom and relegated, but most important thing is we did the job. Gap cut to 5. It's not over yet with 4 to play, but it's the hope that kills you, isn't it, man, honestly. Right, let's go. Third game today, and this is the second leg. Torino away in Turin. We're heading into this one with a 2-goal lead. All we got to do tonight is keep a clean sheet or concede no more than 1, and we are into our first final of the save, the Europa League final. And of course, said before, Ipswich Town won this, their only European honour today, back in 1981. I said we're the favourites to go all the way, or at least one of the favourites, and tonight we should be making it through to the final without an epic bottle job. Let's make sure we make our first final of the save. Come on, Ipswich Town. João Felix trying to get round his man. He's done really well there to beat compatriot Inafia, and that deflects off Onana to Bowen. And Torino, they really need a goal ASAP. And they might get one here. João Felix, no, scuffs the shot. I don't know if Dave's got a touch on it, but it deflects behind for a goal kick regardless. And that might be the only chance they get. Yeah, keeping it tight, keeping it composed, and as things stand, head into the final. Yeah, second half underway. And Torino starting to come forward a bit now, starting to understand what's at stake here. unlike Shakhtar Donetsk in the last 16, who just passed the ball around needing a goal. But from then coming forward, it does open them up at the back, and so if we go on the counter at times, I think it's going to be a great chance for us to get that goal, which will kill off any kind of Torino hope. Oh, play right, Jeff, and send us into that final. Mudryk, Washington, Hassan, over, game, finished, done. Ipswich are heading to the final. It was brilliant in the last round against Frankfurt in Germany. He got the goal and the assist to settle the nerves and ensure we'd make the final four. And now this goal is seeing us make the final. Ipswich are going through. I must say, I am a big fan of this kid. You know, for all the youth academy grads we've had, he's the one that's progressed the most. He's the one that's getting the game time. It's taken a bit longer this year, but as Balkan makes a good save, and oh, what a block! Mr. Ipswich Town, Luke Wolfen, and cross to the middle, headed behind for a corner by Onana. But yeah, Moses Hassan has really developed his game recently, and his contributions in the Europa League have been the most impactful. As Onana gets it off the line, a rebound blocked, and then Bulka picks it up. But yeah, we're going through, no doubt about it. Hassan with the dagger, and we are into our first final to say. I can't believe it's taken this long to finally reach one, but it is over. Ipswich are going through for sure now. Oh no, what a great save. It's still 1-0, but it's been the whole thing throughout the course of the competition, knowing that we are good enough to win this thing and proving that in the games we've played. Yeah, if you speak with such confidence as we have by calling yourself the favourites, not a lot of teams would do that. And oh my goodness, well, you've got to back it up. You've got to back it up, and we've done that first through the league phase and then every knockout round. But to end the game off, a ball floated into the middle, which I didn't need to do, sees yet another injury. We get through to the final, but I don't think we'll have David for it. He's gone down, and like Liam, I think he'll be out for the campaign as well. The most injury hit season of the save, and it will go on all the way. And in the Europa League final, it'll either be Union Berlin or Braga, and there's your answer. It will be the Portuguese side who we faced in the very first game of the league phase. And I believe we beat them by 1-0 in Portugal, but that's who we'll face in the Europa League final, SC Braga. And I'll say it once again, I've said it from the league phase all the way through, yeah, we beat them by 1-0, all the way through to this Europa League final. We're the favourites. I've said that all the way, and I believe we'll be favourites for that one as well. Just before our following game against Wolves at Portman Road, I want to see first the injury for David Washington. Is he done for the season? I believe he probably will be. 4 weeks, yep, that's Washington out for the season as well. Morgan's coming back, thank goodness, but David now done alongside the lap for the rest of the season, and Arsenal are playing on the Saturday as we play on the Sunday, so we'll quickly advance through to the Wolves game. We need Arsenal to slip up, otherwise we know there's basically no chance of winning this title. Fingers are crossed. No, Arsenal with the win, 3-0 at the Cottage, so I think that's it. 4 games to go. Still got the 2 games in hand, but even winning back-to-back, we would still be behind by 2 points. I think it's basically over. Let's jump into the following game anyway. We'll do 2 more. It's Wolves at home. No, we'll do 2 or 3 more. We'll see if how things are getting on. But anyway, Wolves at home, as we'll just try our absolute best. All you can do to keep the pressure on. Gary O'Neill's side in East Anglia. Come on, Ipswich Town. And I've just seen as well that the Europa League final becomes before the Premier League final day, which I've talked about this before. Like I have to say, I'm stuttering on my words here because like I'm always willing to point out I don't mind it in certain cases, but for me I've always felt as though a cup final, like it needs to be at the end of the season. Do you know what I mean? It's like again, I'm struggling here because I know there are certain cases where it's probably warranted and sometimes it's necessary, but yeah. I mean, this is a European final, so it's a bit different, but yeah. I mean, the Copa del Rey final, for example, was played a long time before the La Liga final day. That's a tradition, but yeah. In most cases, I much prefer a final right at the end of the season. So second half gets underway. I think we've ran out of steam. I really do. We've been fighting on 3 different fronts this season. Knocked out in the FA Cup quarter-final, sure, but still going all the way to the last 8. The Premier League, doing everything we can to try and keep pace with Arsenal. And, of course, now making the Europa League final as well. I think we've just ran out of steam. With the injuries we've had as well. It's understandable. Georgie to Ghana. Can we get ourselves in front? Oh, just wide. 40 minutes. We have to find a winner. If we don't win all of our remaining games, we won't be champions. Slip up here, and it's Arsenal's title. It's over. It is over. 6 to play as that header goes over from Oosterwolde. But it's, I mean, unless we have a miraculous late goal and late winner. Ah, it's over. It is over. I've just not been able to break down Wolves all through this game. And that is going to do it. We are going to a Europa League final. But we had a shot at a treble recently. Mudryk! But 3 became 2, and now it becomes 1. Held scoreless by Wolves. And Gary O'Neill will be receiving a phone call from Mikel Arteta tonight. And all the Spaniard will be saying is, gracias, mi amigo. Arsenal, Premier League champions. And it is definitely over now. Yeah, it's over. It is definitely over now. So we'll do 2 of the final 3 league games in the build-up to that Europa League final. But we know now it's over. That game against Forest is our game in hand. So if we win it, we will cut it to 4. So with 2 to play, mathematically, if you want to play devil's advocate, then there is a very slim chance. But we know it's basically over. So yeah, we'll do 2 of the final 3 games. Following contest, Nuno's Forest going to Portman Road. And if we don't return to anyways, actually, if we don't return to anyways in this one, mathematically it is over. So we have to win to at least have a chance mathematically heading into the final 2 games. Our game in hand against Nottingham Forest, who they need the points themselves in order to try and pull off safety heading into this one with us needing an absolute miracle of epic proportions. Nottingham Forest in East Anglia. Go on, switch down. I'm genuinely quite proud of the fact we were able to stay in the race for as long as we have. I mean, you know, with all the injuries we've had this season and trying to fight on multiple fronts, first time we've done that. I mean, wow, that was quick. Fair play, like seriously fair play. Like, I think we've actually done really well to stay in the race for this long when you consider all the important players that have gone down with medium-term injuries. And you know, I mean, seriously, the list is endless. I said this season, you know, who hasn't been injured in our outfield positions? You know, it's been crazy. But yeah, it's over now. It's over now. We've done well to stay in the race, but it is now Arsenal's Premier League Championship. You know, those goals where it's like, it just feels like, yeah, if the AI want to score, they will. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like, I know it sounds a bit ironic, but robotic. You know, like it really does feel that way. Ironic, is that the right word? Or fitting, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, it's like, it's just so perfect, you know. Anyway, lovely ball through, and gives McAldy to Adley, and there is the leveller. Good finish by Double A. He's returned to goal scoring on his return from injury, but yeah, not really going to think too much about the prospect of an epic comeback here. We won't come back to win the game, but come back to win the title. Yeah, like I said, it's the hope that kills you. Let's not think about it too much. As Morgan spreads it to Mudryk. And to be fair, it's a lovely spell of pressure here from the Tractor Boys. As Mudryk's shot is blocked and the rebound goes wide from Georgie. Nafio through to Mudryk. Now gives White on his comeback game. Through to Georgie. And it's great to know he's coming back for the Europa League final. Because we miss him. I mean, seriously, he is... You know, I've said this so many times before, but despite the fact he doesn't get that many goals or assists, now he plays deeper in this team, he is the heartbeat of our team. As Georgie rolls it across, and Adley almost made it 2 and put us in front. Still tied, but great spell of pressure. Just trying to find that goal to get us into the lead for the first time in the game. And say to Arsenal, we'll need a miracle, but we ain't just going to give you that title. Yes. Mudryk has Nkunku to beat. Skips away. Rolls it through. Johnson in. Amin Adli blocked. And flicked down. And Georgie also blocked. How are we still tied? Free kick right on the edge. Georgie to take. And Georgian. Oh, great save, but tapped in by Mikhailo Mudryk. And there is the deserved goal to give us the breakthrough. It's a rebound, but we'll take it. Ipswich in front. In terms of the gameplay this year, I have to be honest, I've said before, it is amongst the best I've ever played. And this is coming from someone that's played since '99. It's fantastic gameplay, it really is. But if there's one tweak, you know, as the perfectionist as I am, the nitpicker in me, if there's one thing I could tweak, it's that. I would say to EA, great job guys, genuinely, it's been fantastic this year. And I know that sounds a bit sarcastic, but no, genuinely, as I always say with EA, I'm fair, I'll praise when it deserves it and criticise when it's justified. But excellent job on the gameplay, but if there's one suggestion, if there's one note I can give, I would say this: please tone down the amount of rebound goals to get scored. Because, okay, every now and then, sure, but I think they're just a little too common, both for scoring and conceding. As Georgie turns his man and should have made it through. Obviously, we've got Man City on the weekend in what is our... good save, Bulka, our penultimate game of the season, where, again, we need to win to have any chance of winning this championship, but... because the Europa League final comes in 7 days' time on Wednesday night, I'm going to feel the backup side for that Man City game, knowing the likelihood is so slim. Georgie's done really well there, and that's going to do it. And we will take it to match day 36. But if Arsenal win, it doesn't matter what we do against Guardiola's side. But this win is in the bag. Yeah, Arsenal, we know it is for sure going to be your championship, unless it's the worst bottle job of all time. But we fight till the end. It's the Ipswich Town way. And whilst the wait for a league title is almost definitely going to continue, mathematically, you want to play devil's advocate, there is still the slimmest of possibilities. Bookies haven't suspended odds yet, even if it's 400 to 1. We still have the shot. To be fair, I don't think it'll be that far-fetched. I think bookies in this country have learnt their lesson from that Leicester City title win in 2016, when the odds pre-season were like 5,000 to 1. I think now they know nothing's too far-fetched in football. With a 4-point gap with 2 games to go, and Arsenal playing host to Liverpool on match day 37, it's possible. It is still possible. I'd say it's about 40 to 1 maybe 30 to 1 that we could win this. But in order to do it, we need to win back-to-back, and Arsenal need to lose at least one of their final 2, and also slip up in the other game as well. It's incredibly unlikely, but like I said, we'll fight to the end. Final game today, penultimate game of the season. Man City away at the Etihad, who they themselves know now top 4 is basically gone. They're just going to try and flee on to a European spot of any kind. The champions away at the Etihad. Come on, Ipswich Town. So I checked in the goal news section pre-game, and Arsenal's fixture with Liverpool wasn't there, so they would have played at lunchtime. It's so frustrating that you can't like check what that score would have been, because like heading into this game, it might not matter what we do now. Like if Arsenal won at lunchtime, then they're already champions, but we don't know what that score was, so it's a completely unknown, which I guess can work in your favour. But it is super unrealistic, of course. But again, I'd love for EA to work on that as well. When the kickoff times are different, let us know like what's happened. As Amin Adli almost fired in the opener, but his ex-teammate Muric makes the save. And don't forget those two have got beef, after it was Muric who brought down Adli in the FA Cup 4th round earlier this season, injuring the Moroccan. Oh, great save again by Muric, as it remains at 0-0. So there's no way of us knowing like whether the title is still winnable or not, even though that game is finished, you know, because we won't be able to find out what the score was until we get back to the main menu. So it's like, it's frustrating, because now it's like, if I knew Arsenal won, for example, then heading into this game, I could just feel the backup side. It's like, it's over. So I might as well feel the complete backup side with the Europa League final Wednesday night. But instead I've rested a few players, but I've also got some starters out there as well, just in case we have the slimmest possibility. So it's kind of frustrating that it works that way. Because now it's like, I might be, you know, we could see Adli go down, we could see Anafio go down and get injured for that Europa League final. pushing for a win in this game, which might not matter either way. So, yeah, that's another thing I'd like EA to work on. If it's a lunchtime kickoff, let us know what the score is before the 3 PMs. As Patterson finds Wharton. And Adams going to let fly from range. Muric with the save. Walker to Christiansen. Through to Bay. And the Korean finds Patterson. Starting CM in this game here. As Mudryk tries to take out Destiny Udogie down the right hand side and beats the ex-Spurs man and gets inside and rolls it across and Adley is denied. Our former keeper saying moral victory. Our dynasty may be over at least this season, but I'm not going to let my former team stay in the title race heading into the final day. He's made some big saves out there, and you can see why Guardiola wanted him back at the Etihad. Foden away from Wolfenden, shot blocked, and O'Reilly's effort over the bar. You know, I think it is time to concede that Premier League Championship. We've taken it all the way to match day 37. Oh, it's Foden. Ripples the side netting, but no longer. I'm going to keep my starters out there for the final attack. Because if Adley gets a chance, I'll bank him to score it, but... Adam Wharton! Oh, he's denied by Muric. Can you believe it? It might not matter anyways. Koleosho hangs one up and it's headed away. Patterson gets it back. It'll drop to Bay. It's the Korean. It's the final chance to take it to the final day. And it is over. And Manchester City hold Ipswich Town and give Arsenal the Premier League title. It might not have mattered anyway. If Arsenal won at lunchtime, the title was over anyway heading into the game. But it is over. Man City no longer Premier League champions, but it won't be Ipswich who get it. It is Arsenal's Premier League title. Yeah, we might have stretched our unbeaten run to a nice little streak on the back of what was our loss to Arsenal, but as we'll find out when we get back to the main menu, unfortunately, we've just ran out of steam. 2 goalless draws in 3, and that will do it. So long as Arsenal did not lose to Liverpool, which they didn't, they won, so it wouldn't have mattered what we did at 3 PM anyway. And again, EA, please change this, man. Because, like, I went into that game thinking it might have been a chance. Let's say Wharton scored at the final whistle. We would have gone ballistic. Not it would have mattered anyway. But that'll do it for today's episode, guys. Big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll return with the final episode of Season 5. Well, we'll play the final day heading into it, knowing that we cannot win the championship. Arsenal end the Man City dynasty, but we'll do what we can, and of course we'll have the Europa League final against SC Braga going for our first major honour in the save against the Portuguese side, aiming to put this trophy back in the cabinet for the first time since 1981. Have a great day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the season finale very soon.